These videos are brought to you by 𝗖𝗶𝗿𝗃𝗃 and the 𝗕𝗁 Sporting Club. 𝗖𝗶𝗿𝗃𝗃.com. Check it out. Also, be sure to check out PF Painters and their website, pfpainters.com.
You are watching Sports Matters TV.
Okay guys, Sports Matters TV, and we are at the 𝗕𝗁 Casino here in Cork City. Now the man next to me is a guy that I know extremely well. Haven't caught up with him in a couple of years, but he's here now. We're in Cork. He's home for a few days, and yet again, the last fight, you know, a highlight reel. There's been millions of views all around the world. We put up the video and it done like 30,000 views in the space of a day. What a finish! But Stephen, first of all, you're home. What's it like to be home for a few days? It's rare, but you're home.
No, it's class. Class to be home, see everybody like yourself, everybody else who came over to the fight. But the people you don't see in between training camps, though, like just walking into the Marina Market and popping in, like bumping into someone. It's nice just to have that real home feel, and yeah, I like being at home.
It's always good. And listen, we know you're an absolute grafter. You know, I see every day the work you put in. I'm absolutely loving the Instagram videos. You know, we see an insight of what your life's like and how you train. But listen, there's no shortcuts with you. You're dedicated, and I think the word dedication would equal your name because you put in so much work. But listen, it's been a really long journey, but it's paying off these last couple of years. And listen, the last performance was a masterpiece.
Yeah, no, it's been a long journey. It hasn't been easy. I think from my first interview I done with you was that nearly 4 years.
Yeah.
And since then I've just been grinding every day in the gym. You've seen on the socials I've been working as hard on my socials as I've been in the gym, because nowadays in boxing you have to hit all the markets. You can't just be a very good fighter. You have to be, unfortunately now, you have to be very good on social media as well. But yeah, it's more work, but it's good to see there's more people around the world seeing what I do, and keep collecting the knockouts, and pretty soon we'll be collecting some belts.
Definitely. And look, speaking of, you know, we talked the term fighter. For me, you are the ultimate fighter. You know what you have to do in the ring. You know, you're clinical. Defensively, you're incredible. You know what I mean? But listen, that style is something you worked on for years. Like, obviously your amateur pedigree was incredible, but these last couple of years, your team, you've worked on so many things in the gym, and it's paying off. And you look fresh every fight. You look fresh when you walk away.
Yeah, no, like obviously from the amateurs to the pros, like two completely different sports, and I'm learning that as well as the business side of boxing now.
Yeah.
But like the work we've been doing with Dave, though, kind of in the gym, and it's like he slowed me down a lot. Before, obviously in the amateurs you're bouncing about, he slowed me down a lot. I'm picking my shots, I'm seeing the openings, and even like not snatching punches, because when you see the opening you can snatch it, it doesn't land properly. Now I'm slipping them, sinking them in, and you can see with the last guy, that body shot, he actually screamed after the body shot.
Yeah.
It wasn't a nice one, but these are the things we're working on in the gym. Unfortunately for my opponents, they're going to get hurt.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard to get opponents. When opponents see stuff like this, they're not going to want to fight you. That's the thing.
We've had a few opponents that we've asked for fights and stuff like that, but they've turned them down. Maybe it's just not the right time in their career or whatever, but I'm pretty sure the fights will start coming in, and as the competition steps up, we're going to get some titles. That's like the main thing in my mind now, is getting a title next. Definitely.
And look, we're talking your career right now. It's a very interesting time in your career, because you're at the stage now where I suppose there's always mega fights on the horizon, but yet again, titles, you mentioned titles, yeah, and that's always around the stage right now. There's so many titles out there that you're looking at, but listen, you'll take them all, you don't mind. There's so many beautiful titles in your division, and you know what I mean, so many big fights that you can have right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The lightweight division throughout the years has been one of the best divisions out there, and there's gigantic fights, but I have to build my way up there still. Yeah. I'm still like, I've been pro a while, but I'm like a baby in the pro game. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But we're building there. We're gonna try fight for maybe something in WBA, WBC, get a ranking in there, keep building, and by next year I could be knocking on the door of fighting for some major titles, European, world titles possibly. You don't know what happens in boxing. Two fights, everything can change.
Of course.
So yeah, I'm getting over to Riyadh, going over to see my mate Turki Alashik. That would be good as well.
And listen, speaking of the man himself, he's changed the game.
Yeah.
He's cleaned up boxing, in my opinion. Obviously, he does a lot for boxing. He does what's best for boxers, and the rewards are there. But listen, you've got a warm welcome. It's something obviously appeals to you. And listen, the man is incredible, and it's good for boxing.
Oh, 100%. Like Turkey's came in, and he's made big fights happen because he's telling fighters it's not a case of like career suicide if you lose a fight. It's like if you lose, fight again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why you're seeing all these fighters taking these opportunities now. And look at boxing. Look at every weekend there's a new fight. You're like, oh shit, there's like mega fights every weekend, and that's because of that man. And one thing he doesn't have yet is an Irish superstar. He's got American, he's got Japanese, but he ain't got no Irish fighters yet. So I plan on being that first Irish fighter he takes under his wing.
I think you will be. And look, that division, you mentioned the elite fighters, that division right now is incredible. But Stevenson, we talk Davis, there's so many names in that division. Your name versus them is box office. I think, what I mean, we look at the arenas we have in Ireland. We're kind of short on arenas, but we look at the 3 arena. That'd be that'd be a good place for you to win your first world title. But we look at Croke Park, we look at Páirc Uí Chaoimh, we look at all these potential things. I think we're getting closer to these things. I think doors are definitely opening, and I think when it comes around for you, I think we'll be there, and that's the beauty. You fighting for undisputed world titles in Páirc Uí Chaoimh is something that should happen, and I'm sure it will happen.
Yeah, and I believe everything happens for a reason, because you're hearing about this event centre being built in Cork.
Yeah.
And they're talking about it in the next year or two, which is perfect timing for when I'll be having them titles and wanting to bring big shows back to Cork. So everything happens for a reason. And undisputed in Páirc Uí Chaoimh would be some night. Imagine I've been there for GA matches, hurling matches. Imagine packing that out with that fight atmosphere of every time you hit someone, the crowd going crazy, and just all because Cork fans really, when's the last time there's been a gigantic fight in Cork?
Yeah, we've only had very few. Steve Collins, Mill Street, and that's outside the city. In the city itself, there was one mega event at Neptune. You probably remember Mike Perez, Spike was there, Luis Garcia, Costa, Willie Big Bang Casey.
I remember going to that.
You were young. I think I vaguely remember you there as a young kid.
I was 6 years old, 5 years old. So it's been a long time, innit?
That's the last time. But we look at Cork right now. I remember when I started up Sports Matters 9 years ago, there was very few. I think Spike was probably the only one. Perez was kind of around. He won the prize fighter. Now I look at it now, and we have yourself. There's Tommy Hyde. There's Callum Walsh. There's so many Cork stars right now that are shining and doing so well. And look, it's time for the Rebel County to take over. No disrespect to Dublin. I love Ireland. I love my country, but we see the Dubs get a lot of the action, and now it's time for Cork to shine. And yet again, you're leading the way, Steve.
Yeah, 100%. I think, as you said, the names there, Tommy, Callum, we've got Colin Crowley as well.
Yeah.
We're putting Cork on the map and showing that out of Ireland we probably have the best talent out there. So we've got Callum's fighting on the undercard now of Canelo Crawford this weekend. Tommy's fighting this weekend or next weekend.
It's next week, yeah.
So we're all active. We're all working towards. We're all going to be fighting for a major title soon. Yeah. So there will be a huge show back in Cork, and it's good to see. It's good to, because Spike he was bearing the flag himself for many years. Yeah. But now we've got so many, and there's more and more young prospects as well, amateurs wanting to go pro now from Cork as well. So it's a good time for pro boxing in Cork, definitely. And look, the amateur game, I love when all your old pictures pop up. There's so many, because you've won so much as an amateur. But we look at, you pop up, Cahill, Callum Walsh, and Spike's normally in the picture with you as young kids. But listen, the amateur game's important. There's so many clubs in Cork right now. The streets are dangerous today, Steve, around Cork, around Ireland, different times. I think it's a different era, but it's no harm for kids to maybe try out boxing, to learn how to defend themselves, to punch. And yet again, we're seeing more kids come through the doors, and I'm sure that's something you'll keep an eye on, the amateurs around the country today. Yeah, 100%, and I plan on helping. Obviously, I'm very busy with my own career at the moment, but when I do stop being a pro boxer, I do want to help the younger generation come through, because that's why I'm doing this. I'm doing this to motivate the younger kid that might be some kids from Cork, it might be from Dublin, anywhere, that looks at me and thinking, I want to be like him one day. So that's why I do it. And I want to help the younger generation. And as you said, the world is it's a scary place at the moment.
It is.
And it's very like knowing how to defend yourself, but just the confidence you get from boxing and knowing you can look after yourself and go out the door, and even for their parents knowing they can look after themselves, because as you said, it's a scary place at the moment.
It is. And look, like we know obviously you're based in the UK all the time. How do you find that? Look, obviously you've adjusted like a duck to water, but listen, it's obviously a good thing, you know what I mean? That shows how committed you are to the craft, you know what I mean? Obviously it's a massive sacrifice being away from so many people, but obviously you're in the UK. It's made a huge difference, and I think, look, it's put you in good stead, you know what I mean? Obviously you're away from home, but yet again, it makes you a man, if you get me.
Yeah, no, it's at the start it was very tough. It was young, obviously my missus was over here in college, parents, so I was just there on my ones really. But I actually loved it. I loved the gym, because I'd be training with Derek Chisora, Jordan Gill, all these guys who are winning European titles, world titles, where I want to be. But then it's outside the boxing gym when you're on your own. That's when I got quite lonely. But now it's good. I've got my missus moved over with me. We've just bought our first house over in the UK, so it's all good now, and like my family can come over and visit now because we got a house, and it was tough, but if you stick with the tough times, good times will come, and this is the start of good times for me, because when the world starts to know my name even more by the end of this year, next year, I believe everything, all the sacrifices we've made, even, not just me, my family as well, it'll all be worth it.
Definitely. And look, the UK is a great place to go. I must admit, when I'm over there, you can hop on a train, you can go from Blackpool to Manchester to Brighton in the space of a couple of hours, but there's massive opportunity in the UK, and there's a lot of Irish lads over there at the moment. But you definitely be in favour of, like, I suppose, pro boxers obviously basing themselves in the UK, because there's obviously lots of benefits, lots of big gyms, but the sparring's a big thing. I heard the sparring's very hard in Ireland to get good sparring partners. In the UK you have elite sparring partners, and we see them with you pretty much every week. You're sparring with the best. Yeah,
like you hit a nail on the head there. I think if you're a young amateur wanting to turn pro, you need to, like, Ireland's the greatest country in the world. I love Ireland, but for pro boxing you need to leave. You need to go over to the US, you need to go to the UK, because that's where the opportunities are. As you said, the sparring I get up there is unbelievable. I'm sparring Dalton Smith, I was sparring Mark Chamberlain in the last camp for 𝗖𝗶𝗿𝗕. So these are like guys who are fighting for major titles. Dalton Smith is about to fight for a world title, so it's like you can't get that here. As much as I would love if I could get Dave to move over to Cork, it would be fantastic, but unfortunately you can't. So for young fighters, if you really want to do it and you want to, like, make it as a pro, you need to go away from home, cut out all the distractions, get a good manager, a good pro coach that knows what he's doing, has trained people like world champions. Tony, like when I was going to Dave, he was after training Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew got to where I want to be. So the man who brought him there, that's you have to go to someone who's already been there and done that. And as a young fighter, you need to go on the road.
Definitely. And David Dorja, look, I spoke to him on a number of occasions, and we always mention your name, but he adores you. Look, there's a spark in his eye when I mention your name. What a man to have behind you. Look, obviously we've seen what he done with Tony Bellew, and to this day, Tony's sorted for life. Even after boxing, the man is doing absolutely everything. I'm a celebrity, he's on TV shows every day, but listen, people like that know what they're doing, and yet again, he knows he's got something big in you. Yeah, no,
he backs me all the way, and I believe it's from the work we put in together. He knows what I'm capable of, and he's no better man. He's like the Mr. Miyagi of boxing.
Yeah, good way to put it.
He's a genius. I remember coming back there after the last fight. We're in the kind of like the car that brings you to and from the venue. And I said to him, I goes, you're literally like a little genius, isn't it? I was like, he was like, what you mean? I goes, because I remember in the fight, I remember him telling me, step outside, find that left hook, all right? And I said, okay, because I listen to everything he says, though. It's like the only voice I hear when I'm in the corner. So outside, bang, your man goes down like a sack. And it's just like, he just sees these things, you know what I mean? Like, and obviously when you're fighting, you're seeing the geezer here, but you need that other voice in the back of your head that's telling you what to do thing. And it's just unbelievable, and it's like having a guy like that backing me, it gives me I'll just say it gives me
the belief, and I
the
suppose,
belief, that like I'm in the right place.
Yeah, and his composure. Like, I think to be in that situation where your fighter's in a ring and he's doing stuff, and every fight's dangerous because you can't fake boxing, and then he's telling you to do stuff, and yet again that left hook is just incredible. But like, it's in good stead. Like, you know, great team. You know, making that move to England was incredible. What's mapped out for you for the next couple of months? Look, is there anything in the pipeline? Look, we mentioned Queensberry, the golfer Frank Warren, a guy. I first met Frank. We went to Kevin Mitchell fight. Kevin Mitchell fought 𝗖𝗶𝗿𝗃𝗃 𝗔 in Upton Park, the old West Ham Stadium.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to be sitting next to Frank Bruno, and I got chatting to Frank Warren, and I was just in awe of the man, because people don't realise this guy's been around so long. But yet again, you've got a really good kind of, I suppose, stable in the sense of Frank Warren, Queensberry. We've seen what they've done these last couple of years, you know, especially against Eddie and Matchroom and all around the world. But listen, there's obviously lots penciling for you these next couple of years and months, but I suppose the next couple of months will be interesting.
Yeah, the next as of Sunday, I'm going back to camp over in the UK, and I'll be putting my head down, training, getting ready for December time. Be my next fight.
Exclusive, maybe exclusive. yeah.
I'm hearing possibly Dublin.
Okay, I'm all for it.
Please God, that would be unbelievable. Just being at the Michael Conlon fight, and the atmosphere there is sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, getting ready for then, and then next year, getting active, staying active, and some major titles next year.
Yeah, there is titles next year, surely, as you say. Speaking of Conlon, look, we will mention some homegrown talent quickly. Conlon, he needed a win, I suppose. Well, I don't think he actually needed a win. I think, look, the man's iconic for what he's done at boxing. Very unlucky against Leigh Wood. Obviously, we've seen what happened. He dominated the fight, got caught in the end of the fight, but bounced back, good finish. That will do him the world of good moving forward. And I think, as Bunsey said, there'll be a lot of big fights there for him. But yet again, as a fighter, you know what that will mean to him to get that win. And very few critics he has, but look, to put them to sleep. Yeah,
no, like you could see the emotion he had after the fight, where he was like, "I'm back," though, like screaming at everyone, and it's because it's been a tough time. As a fighter, it can be very tough because everybody's writing you off online. He's obviously came off the loss to Jordan Gill and the loss to Leigh Wood, and they're big losses. And as a fighter, it's not a nice thing, is it? So then when you do come back and you put on a great performance in front of all your Irish fans, though I say it must be some buzz, and that feeling. Hopefully now this will give him that bit of oomph now to go kick on, and I believe he can be world champion still. He's the talent, and I was watching him ringside, and the laser focus he has when he's in the ring, like he's focused on you, and I believe he's in a good gym now over in Steel City as well. He's in Sheffield himself. I've seen him in the gyms, but it's a very good gym, and there's still world titles there for him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's a unbelievable athlete. You see the shape of him even. So hopefully he does it, and it's great for Irish boxing, because hopefully I'll be able to fight one of his undercards someday as well. Yeah, it's going to happen. And we speak of Callum Walsh, Cork man, co-main event on probably one of the biggest fights. It's definitely the biggest fight this year, Canelo Crawford. How does Callum Walsh do? Look, obviously fighting, I suppose, the son of a legend, Vargas Jr., but do you see Callum coming through quite easy, or do you reckon it can go all the way? Look, 2 brawlers undefeated. Yeah, look, listen, it's boxing is it's never easy. Even if you can make it look easy, it's never easy, because the time that goes into camps and stuff. He's fighting another undefeated fighter who's going to come to win, but I believe that Vargas has in himself to come and win is going to leave openings, and I can see Callum landing a chopping left hand as he comes in and stopping him. That's what I think from watching a bit of Vargas, because Callum can punch, and the guy leaves openings. So I believe Callum Walsh knockout. And last question. Look, I know the answer because I've seen it on your Instagram. You done the Q&A today. Canelo Crawford. You said Canelo knockout, yeah? And I have to agree. I think people underestimate Canelo. They think he's past it. I don't think he is. He's still quite young. I think Canelo's only 36, 35. It's going to be a good fight. Very tactical, but does he catch him late? I think a lot of people don't rate Canelo's IQ, but you have to remember the way he's been boxing now. He don't have to throw 100 punches, a million punches around, because he has the IQ to slow you right down. And it's like, I can just see how Crawford how Crawford can win. I know how Crawford, he gets hit,
Yeah.
and I can see how Canelo will just land late and take him out because he hasn't been hit by someone like Canelo.
Yeah, no, I agree. Last question. Who is, I'm not going to say the greatest of all time. Who is the best in the world right now? There's so many great fighters, so many champions.
You'd have to say Alexander Usyk.
Yeah. In agreement. He's something else, isn't he?
Yeah.
You've seen him in the flesh, haven't you?
I've seen him in the flesh.
Yeah.
It's just what he does. He moves like a middleweight, but he's a heavyweight. And he's IQ, where you think you're getting him, but he's just playing with you, and then he can just step it up all of a sudden and take you out. Like Tony Bellew was doing really well against them for 6 rounds, but then he just seen that chink in the armor and he kept going. He's very consistent in what he does. He does something, and just because it doesn't work for the first, second, third round, he don't stop doing it. He keeps doing it, and then he wears you down, takes you out. But Usyk's unbelievable to watch. Like a big 𝗖𝗶𝗿 𝗕tože, really, isn't he?
Really, yeah, he is. And just incredible. But listen, we can't wait to see what's ahead. We got maybe a little teaser of what's ahead in December, but we know you're very active. There's a big couple of months ahead. I'm hoping we do see more cards in Ireland, given the fact we know what can happen, how big it is. Who knows, 𝗕tože might announce something, and we'll get to see you make that crossover onto that card for fight night. But yet again, it's a pleasure having you back home, mate. We can't wait for what's ahead and keep up the good work.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
Nice chap.